My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now.
Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. I'll be with my friends. I'm just trying to make a little money. My job is not just to entertain, but to explain days like today, tell you how they work. Call me 1-800-743-CNBC. X me at Jim Cramer. Can one man create $21 billion in value on the first day on the job as CEO? That's what happened at Starbucks today when they dismissed Luxman Narasimhan and hired Chipotle's Brian Niccol as the new CEO. Look, this is an amazing development. Even on the day where the Dow gained 409 points, S&P jumped 1.68%, and then NASDAQ pulled on 2.43%, largely thanks to yet another tame inflation number. The benign producer price index caused bond yields to fall, creating a tremendous backdrop for the stock market, especially, yes, the tech part of the Magnificent Seven. Look, on a normal day, we talk about the stellar gains in the Mag 7, including Alphabet, which we heard after the close might be pursued for a breakup by the Antitrust Division of Justice. I see this one feels a lot like the breakup of Standard Oil, which created more value than anything the Justice Department has ever done. Now, but this is not a normal day, people. Today, we got something very rare. A CEO was straight up fired, and in his place, we didn't just get some stuffed shirt we didn't care about. No, Starbucks brought in Brian Niccol, the man who almost single-handedly turned around Chipotle to run the business. They could not have picked a better guy. The market clearly agrees, with the stock up an astounding 24.5%. I was blown away. And I know all the characters. Now, we know Chipotle's stock only lost less than $6 billion on Niccol's departure. They got a big bench there. And Jack Hartung, one of my favorite CFOs, has agreed to stay on in what seems like an expanded role. He's going to retire next year, while Scott Boatwright, 7-year veteran, will take over as CEO on an interim basis. Brian's a remarkable leader, innovator, pitchman, and throughput expert who happens to be one of the funniest and yet most rigorous CEOs I know. I've had the privilege of spending a lot of time with him over the last 6 years. And when I heard he got the top job at Starbucks, I was thrilled, both for him and, more important, for the shareholders, including my charitable trust. We will be talking about this position tomorrow. We got a 12 o'clock noon meeting. You got to be there, okay? Just sign up for the darn thing. But let's go back to the oddity of a CEO getting fired, only to be replaced by someone better, which is very hard to pull off and usually doesn't happen in corporate America, where it's almost impossible to fire people because you got to pay them so much money. Now, I had high hopes for Luxman when he started the Starbucks job. He trained at McKinsey, one of those amorphous consulting firms. Then, after a successful stint at PepsiCo, he got the job at Reckitt Benckiser, another consumer products company over in England. It seemed like a pretty good resume. However, the problems that he inherited were simply too big for this well-meaning executive, cut more from the McKinsey cloth than from the barista apron. The company needed a fast food executive who understood the elusive goal of throughput, getting fans of the food in and out before they turned ex-fans, as has been the case of Starbucks of late. To wit, at one time, Starbucks was widely regarded as what we call the third place. It's a brilliant idea from the creator, now chairman emeritus, Howard Schultz. How many of us used to love to sit and read at our Starbucks, taking a break from the office or the home? Have you tried lately doing something like that at Starbucks? You can't. The place is a madhouse. Yeah, it's that relaxing to go to a Starbucks. Starbucks used to have a reasonably priced cup of coffee. It was never cheap, but it wasn't extortion either. Those days are long gone. Starbucks used to have enough people behind the counter that you didn't have to wait that long for your coffee. Now the lines are longer and the people keep cutting in to get their mobile orders. I don't know about you, I get furious at this process. Wait times are both long and inconsistent, the worst possible combination. Now, Starbucks has allowed some companies to license this brand, and they have done a horrendous job at it. Starbucks should go after whoever runs these franchises in the airport for failing to staff and turn the lifelong supporters into enemies. That's what they're doing. You just want a decent cup of coffee at the airport, you end up with a long line and a mosh pit of waiters. Everyone knows it's an embarrassment, but no one knows how to fix it. And the CEOs have always said, you know what, Jim, it can't happen. You see, it's a license agreement. Well, anything can happen. That's what we've learned about business. Anything can happen. Here's how you fix it. Get the execs to the airport. Start suing if you're taking pictures of 22, 30, 40 people in a dodgy line that's of a store that's understaffed. What a disaster. Someone needs to own that disaster. If you sue that licensor, at least you'll know that you're on our side and not their side. It is a little simpler than people think. Just get the right darn lawyers. So I'm pretty convinced that Luxman was the wrong man for the job. Nichol could be the opposite. When he came to Chipotle, he had to deal with the ghosts of the past, including some serious food safety issues. Got the chain in big trouble. First thing he did was get together with his employees and find out who they were and what they needed. He made sure that the best were promoted from within, and he straightened out a lot of the scheduling issues that had caused some grumbling. He did everything he could to get customers in and out as quickly as possible while making sure that the food is as tasty as possible. Brian's a master of that process, and process is precisely what Starbucks needs, especially in the afternoon when the stores are overpacked with people seeking cold drinks and no one seems to know what to do at all. Starbucks seems to lack process entirely. Starbucks went down the rabbit hole of innovation that its baristas couldn't handle. Too many new drinks, no idea how to make them. The old CEO was doubling down on new drinks when the baristas were still reeling from the old ones. No wonder there were labor problems. Brian, on the other hand, is mindful of how hard it is to roll out new things. He limited them at Chipotle. You never knew when things were going to leave the menu, which makes me it's kind of a treasure hunt now. He's exactly what Starbucks needs. I checked in with founder Howard Schultz today to get his view, knowing that Luxman no longer had Howard's buy-in at the end. Bad place to be, by the way. He told me, and I'm going to quote, "This is a great day for Starbucks. Brian is one of one." He then went on to say that there is, quote, "no one better to rejuvenate the company and the Starbucks brand than him. Our partners will embrace him," end quote. Howard was effusive about the move today. Quote, "The market's reaction is consistent with the concerns I had, and this is the solution I had hoped for," end quote. Something that makes me think Howard might have been pretty active in the changing of the guard. I have high hopes for Brian myself, but Howard's are even higher. Quote, "It's a new day," he told me. Quote, "Brian will restore trust with our people, rejuvenate the brand, fix operations, improve the customer experience, and create shareholder value." That latter one he sure did. Now, there are some things that Brian should consider if he wants to shake things up. First, maybe move the company where he works, Newport Beach, and out of Seattle to show that it's a truly new time for Starbucks. That's something he did 3 months into his CEO job at the then Denver-based Chipotle. Second, refresh the board of directors. Go with people who have expertise in the tech issues that are hurting their throughput. Finally, take your time. You're living right now with the hand that they've given you. The money you make, and you know what? I'll take the over in wagering that he has a potential $600 million 5-year deal, will not immunize you against criticism. And I think that after the stock's breathtaking run today, the long knives will now be out for you. So be careful. The bottom line. Brian Nichol is the key to a new Starbucks, one that can reclaim its old mantle as the third place. You just need to know that this turnaround can't happen overnight. But I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I feel like taking some calls. I would like to go to Labanat in New York. Labanat.
Hi, how are you, Jimmy?
I couldn't be better. How about you?
Good. Thanks. Thank you. I love to be in your show. I love your show.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you about Amazon.
Sure. Okay, so just the other day, I issued an alert that we were buying more Amazon, now up nicely on it. And the reason I did that, just so you know, is that I've gone over the Amazon quarter 9 ways to Sunday. It was not a horrible quarter. They were being a little conservative about the spend of the retail customer. Everything else was great. And I think we're going to look back and say Amazon withstood that level of the 160, 164. It has been going up, and I think that Amazon is a buy. Attend my meeting tomorrow at noon, the Investing Club, and you'll hear more. If you're not in the club, what's with you? Anyway, I feel positive this was the right move for Starbucks, and the turnaround will happen. We own Starbucks for the trust. We're not knuckleheads. On Man Money tonight, after a strong showing at Olympus, is one holding on the right foot. I've got the post-earnings exclusive. Then I think one sector you need to really be in as we look ahead to the Fed rate cut. Well, you know what? I'll reveal it in the names you should be watching. And is the pet spending thesis still enough to keep stock like Zoetis, ZTS climbing? I'm talking with the company CEO, so I want you to stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.